What a beautiful day up top, ladies and gentlemen. If you are heading out there to ski, you have a wonderful day ahead of you. We are here with Whistler Live. Bienvenue à Whistler Live. On est une combination des arts, des sports et les cultures. Donc, suis-nous chaque jour. On a plein d'entertainment pour vous autres. Donc, aujourd'hui, en direct de studio, I am here with Sarah and Robin from the Urban Movement Design. Now, it is a New York-based company. Now, however, we do have a local from Vancouver as well. And it is a very interesting concept. Now, they are both trained architects as well as yoga instructors. So it's really a fusion of both to create a really interesting environment for people. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay. I guess basically our main interest is how can you bring concepts of yoga and health and movement into the design of our urban environments. And Whistler, of all places, is kind of the perfect place to prototype those ideas.
Absolutely. Now, how did you get involved in the beginning? How did you contact Whistler?
It was kind of a cold call, actually. Up until 3 years ago, we had been working on the private scale. We were working specifically with people that had spinal cord injuries. So we were working to design for facilitation of healing into people's homes. And we just always felt that this was really something bigger than the individual. It was something bigger than each of us working specifically with people to help facilitate their healing. So when we found out that the Paralympics were coming to Whistler, we thought that this was really an opportunity to prototype a much larger idea. So we contacted VANOC. VANOC put us in touch with the municipality, and they immediately said, come on down. So we booked a flight, we came on in, and the municipality really had an incredible vision. Jim Godfrey, who actually was trained as a kinesiologist, so he kind of got the ideas right away, which had been lost on most designers and architects. So it was pretty amazing for us just to be welcomed like that, for our ideas to be welcomed like that. And Jim just immediately said, I see us prototyping this throughout the entire athlete village for all of the Olympians, and not just, and as a legacy program to be left behind.
Sure, what an opportunity. Can you explain a little bit as to what's going on right now in the athletes village and the things that you have set up there?
Yeah, so we've designed the bicycle racks for bikers in the summertime. Because it's a legacy program, it's going to be gifted to the municipality and locals will be living there. So that was kind of the first gesture as we were beginning to think about who's going to be living there, what are their sports, how can we design multifunctional objects that will aid in their extreme sports in the summertime. And from there we moved into there's one bench and 3 bus shelters. You can see people playing on it. So the bus shelters are designed for a choreography of movement, 5 different positions, and then playing in between for the athletes.
So it's really incorporating exercise as well in your day-to-day movement from, say, A to B.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
And involving people in their transportation as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So explain to us, I mean, we've seen a couple of photos, but for example, in the bus shelter, what can we expect when we go and take a look there?
Yeah.
I guess, the bus shelter was it was kind of not what we had originally. The way that we think about it is that we think about it as a choreography of movement, or a ribbon of movement throughout an urban environment. So it's kind of about people's choreography, about what their choreography is that's outside of the mat. That's not an hour and a half taking a class or going to the gym for 45 minutes to prepare for their sport. So the first thing that we did was we looked at the village and we thought, where are the hot spots of where people are kind of resting, where are they getting active, where are they preparing for action, where is it really important for their parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of the nervous system that especially really important for athletes is it's rest and digest. It's the part that needs to just stop for a moment. So the bus shelters really were an opportunity for that, which was how do you get people in this time? It's a rare opportunity, and you guys kind of know this while you're on camera. It's a similar thing where it's a rare opportunity to get people for 8 minutes of their day or 5 minutes of the day, and in this really, really fast-paced world that we're in right now, to capture somebody for that amount of time is huge. So it was really, how do we get people, kind of throw them into a position that normally, especially high-performing athletes are going to be, and by the way, all of Whistler are high-performing athletes, even though they think they're not.
I'm going to try to get out today, so does that make me an athlete?
Yeah, I'm trying to get out on Friday.
Fabulous. Now, have you actually been there to see the reaction to some of your structures?
We haven't been there during the Olympics. We would love, love, love to see the athletes playing and exploring that, but we haven't been there yet.
Now, we're going to show you a picture, so can you describe us this actual structure? What's going on here?
Well, these are actually bike racks, believe it or not. And there's actually 3 different designs. They're modular. So the concept of them is that each of them is designed specifically with certain heights and angles in mind to hold the body. And then depending on where they're located, where the bikes need to come in for storage, and where people are coming from, they're kind of configured in different ways to allow and encourage certain movements. So here we have me in an extreme back bend.
It's interesting also because it's some weightlifting. I see a bike over there on to the right where you have to lift it up to.
Yeah, that was the Whistler athletes just figured it out and hooked it up there. It wasn't designed for that. It's any play that can go on in there.
So really, you can make something out of it. You make art out of it. What's going on over here?
You tell me. We certainly didn't have that in mind, but that's cool.
Gotta keep it warm in the snow sometimes, right, ladies? And what is this exactly?
And this is the bench.
This is the bench, okay. Nice architecture going on. So it's really an interesting concept because the fusion of exercise as well as structure is something that you don't necessarily think of right away. So in other areas that you've created this, how have you found the reaction?
The reaction is amazing, actually. I mean, we've been on this for so long. We met in architecture school, and architecture school is really, it's kind of outside the box because you have to be outside the box for the process of making architecture, but the actual dialogue of architecture is very much within a box. So we were like pushing from outside, pushing from inside, and we got a lot of reactions of all kinds. I don't think that our ideas were totally understood because what we bring to the table is so interdisciplinary, and I think a lot of architecture, especially academics of architecture, are really so much in their head, and we're so much in our bodies as well as our head, and we work in a really intuitive way. So I think it maybe made people feel a little bit uncomfortable at the beginning. But what's happening now in the architectural world, especially in North America, is there's a lot of trying to bring together the ideas of health and of design and sustainability, and we call it human sustainability. And we kind of have been on that from the very beginning. We've been heavily involved. So we've actually been in touch with most of the commissioners of health and transportation and design and construction within New York. So the actual eyes of all of New York government right now are looking towards Whistler to see what's going on with this prototype, to kind of become a standard for the way that we're designing cities.
Right. New York City just came out with active design guidelines, so the week before we came here. So the entire city is looking at Whistler as the prototype example of the first large-scale project for this.
Okay, and sustainability is the topic. It's the hot topic now, so you've really, really combined everything together.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Sarah and Robin from the Urban Movement Project. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup to join us today.
Thank you so much.
And now let's take a look at the mayor's tip.
I'm Ken Mel.